Good afternoon. My name is Tumi Tladi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this video is the first video of mine you're currently watching, please go back to other previous videos. This is video number 94. And then as far as this Xamarin series is concerned, this is going to be video number 10. In our previous video, we covered a topic on base view model. It's a short video. And also this one, I intend to make it very short, simple, straight to your point. We're going to be talking about commands. So now, I know using Android Studio, an IDE that I really hate Android Studio. That's my personal opinion, by the way, because I'm a developer. Google tried there, but it's a terrible IDE. But Visual Studio, it's a darling. But also how, the language, which is Java, for Android, the syntax when it comes to buttons, when you click the button on Android app, it's so crappy, so ugly. But what Xamarin team did with Xamarin.Forms, they call them commands because you're giving them commands. So this whole thing is being adapted from WPF. That's Microsoft. So we're going to talk about commands. When the button is being clicked, what happens? So let's go to Visual Studio. Let's open the share project. And then we're going to go to utilities. Now, we don't want to go to utilities. I want to use the previous topic that we covered, which is terms of service. Yes, because there are some buttons there, but I'm not going to show them. Please watch that video, terms of service. You will see that there are buttons there. But what I can do, I can show right now with the live app. So let's go. Let's click it. It's going to go straight to startup page, and we'll cover startup page on the video number 13. But I want to show you on the startup page, there are two buttons there. So let's give it a couple of seconds. These are two buttons I'm talking about. So they don't have a daisy click event handler, no. And by the way, Xamarin.Forms it's a bindable type of architecture, so you're binding a button to a command, and that's what I'm going to use example of terms of service page. So let's go. So we're going to go to ViewModels, and then we're going to look at this terms of service view model. I only want to focus on commands. Okay, we did cover this extensively in our previous video. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to stop on commands. So we have two commands, which is terms of service command and startup command. Okay, and I want to open the corresponding view. So let's go to content pages and let's scroll down, terms of service. Let's open this guy. It might take a while, to load everything for the designs as far as it goes. And so let's give it a couple of seconds. Now this is Visual Studio. It needs to, wake up and do its stuff. So yeah. Like I said, if this video is the first video of mine and then you just love what I get to expose and show, because this is a real system, this is a real production system. I'm still fixing it, I'm still growing, I'm still rectifying certain things, and I'm gonna build a replicated version, or should I say duplicated version of this system targeting WPF. In fact, I do have WPF, and then that's what we're gonna be doing to show commands in WPF. Okay, so I want to go straight to the buttons because I don't care about buttons. We did cover this, so I'm not going to focus on this guy except for the buttons. So it's not only buttons. So we're going to focus on this label, control, and we're going to focus on this button control, right? So I want to start with the button control. So this is a normal button, right? As you can see, there's a normal button wrapped inside stack layout control. So this button, it's using command. Now command attribute, or should I say property, But this is where we get to bind to say, listen, bind context, go and look for startup command. When I click this guy, it should trigger a command called startup command. Now, we'll get to that startup command in a second. Look at the label. The label has a general stuff, but in order for us, for a label to be tabbed, to be treated like a button, meaning to have a click event handler associated with it, we're going to need to have a span, and inside the span, we're going to use a span.gesture recognizer, and then we're going to have a tab gesture recognizer. Inside this tab, because we're tapping on the label, that's when we get to access that there's a command, right? And this command is going to look for the context, and then it's going to look specifically for this terms of service command. So it's not just the buttons that are bindable to commands, but also labels through the spans. So let's go back to this guy. So we looked at, this is for the button and this is for the label. So let's start with the one of the button. So this is how you have it. It's a normal property, but it's not a full property. It's only, exposed to with get, but we're not setting anything. So in Xamarin.Forms world, what we are doing is that we are saying public command. It needs to be public so it can be discoverable by the view. So this is the name of the command. Now, the best practice when it comes to Xamarin.Forms, especially in my world, Tumi Tladi's world, is that you need to append command at the end of the name of the command itself that you're binding the button to. So in this case, startup command. And then we just have the get, and we are returning new command. Now this one is an asynchronous version, right? So what it does is that async, and then we are building this guy to say await, go and trigger this startup method. And we do have a startup method, which is down here. There we go. Now the same thing with terms of service command. Remember this one, it's a label through span, we are binding to it. And then the same thing, public command, terms of service command. And then what we do is that we're just going to use the get to return new command asynchronously. We're going to await terms of service method that gets to be called. This is how simple it is. And then it will trigger whatever it's in here asynchronously. So why is this important? Because I want, when I covered some of these topics, because major topics such as version updates, I know there are moving parts here. Version updates, you're gonna see a lot of buttons. So I don't want to cover this topic of what is your command, what's happening. But that's not only the main reason. I want to go to this project of WPF. Now it's .NET Core project. So let's close Xamarin. So this guy, now this one is a class library for WPF, right? So it doesn't have commands here because the commands needs to be on the UI. So we're gonna go to the UI. So this is the main UI. On the utilities, I have helpers. On the helpers, I have a command. You see, I have a command. This is WPF. This is like a desktop application. And then, so I have two classes. So there's a relay command and there's a relay async command. Now, what do they do? It's beyond my pay grade. What it does, it's just gonna react to the click event handler, or to the click event, right? So it knows this is the version that's not synchronous, okay? But I want to show you something. Let's go to relay command async. It's practically the same, but this one is just asynchronous version of it. But what do they have in common? This relay command, if I do this, they are implementing this interface called iCommand. So this interface comes from system.windows.input, right? It defines a command. The relay command and the relay async command, they implement this interface, iCommand. But what's interesting about the Xamarin with the command, this guy, do you see this guy? It comes from Xamarin.Forms, right? but it defines a system.windows.input command implementation that wraps a action. The following example creates a new command and set it to a button. More useful scenarios takes a parameter. Okay, so what I want to do is, without causing Visual Studio to be unresponsive, let me do this. There we go. So what I want to show is exactly this, that even this guy from Xamarin.Forms namespace, this public class command, it also implements interface of command. So we have actions, commands taking actions. We have can execute, change, can execute. What about the relay command async? It also has those goodness. Let me do this. We'll have can execute change, execute, so that's the beauty of it. So this is why it's very, very important to understand the command architecture from desktop environment now to Xamarin, because in Xamarin we are using terminology of command and it needs to be from Xamarin.Forms. So this is very, very critical, absolutely critical. With that being said, this is the only thing I want to show. This is the only thing that I want to bring to your attention. And if this video provided just that, some clarity into something, I hope you can like this video, leave your thoughts on the comment section below if you have any. Most importantly, subscribe if you found this material to be helpful. And then apart from that, if you have subscribed, click on the notification bell, because I have a lot of things to cover, The list is gonna grow. There's so much to cover. With that being said, thank you very much. Let's meet next on this video called Connectivity View. It's a very, very important video. So let's meet on the next episode. With that being said, thank you very much. Until next time.